Hello everyone, this is Manoj. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will work on our existing web API project, and specifically we will work on our sign in and sign up process, how we can register ourselves as a user, and we will also use SQL Server as a backend. So we'll create a database and there is a table like register. So once we are created ourselves as a user, then we'll try to log in with the same credentials. So in today's video, we'll cover this. So far, we have created our front end, and if I navigate to the admin URL, so we have created a dashboard page, and if I navigate to admin login, so this is our login page, and if I navigate to admin register, so this is our sign up page. So we have already created our designs for these respective pages. So today we'll create a database connection and we'll create some tables in the backend and we'll store these details. So for that, first let's open SQL Server because we need to create a database and some tables, and later on we'll create the database connectivity. So meanwhile, let me go to the project, and inside the web.config, first we need to create a connection string. So let's open connection strings, and I don't think I have clicked. Yeah, now it will open. So inside this, let's add a reference. So call it con, and the connection string should be first server. I need to copy this server name from the SQL. Oops, two instances are open now. Paste it here, and then the database, and we'll create a database with let's say web API ecom, and we are using the Windows authentication. So the default security will be integrated security, integrated security true. So we have created a connection string. Now go back to SQL Server, connect it. So by default it will open the master database. Let's click on new query. So now first let's create a database. Let me copy the name from the connection string, this one, and let's create database using command. Hit F5, which says it already exists. So let me change the name. Perfect. Let's copy the name and paste it in the connection string. Now let's use this. Perfect. So now if I navigate to a register view, let's open the views folder and admin and register. So here we are having first name, last name, email, gender, and password. So we'll create a table containing all these fields. So let's say create a table with the name register itself. The first column would be ID with data type of integer, and with the identity 1 comma 1, so it would be auto incremented column. Let's make it primary key also. And first name, it will be a varchar field. The last name, again varchar field. And then email, again varchar field. And then password, again varchar. And the final one is active. That would be of integer. So first name, email, first name, last name, email, gender. Oops. Let's create another field for gender. Again, varchar and password. Perfect. Let's select this, click on execute. Perfect. So we have created our table. Let's see all the columns. Register. Perfect. So now go back to Visual Studio, and now we need to create some models for this. So in the model folder, let's create a class, add class, and give it a name register. So inside we'll create all the properties respective to these fields. So let's type prop and hit tab. So it will add your property. So first that would be, let's say we'll also include ID, and again prop, hit tab, string first name, prop, tab, string last name, prop, string email, prop, string, no, not this string, this is a class, and this is data type, and this would be gender, again password. Let's save this. Let's also add one more for active. Perfect. So our model is ready. Now let's create one more file called db connection, and here we will use our connection string. So for that, first we need to import some namespaces using system.data, using system.data.sql client. So first create SQL connection equal new connection, and here we'll use configuration oops. So again we need to import a namespace. So configuration manager dot connection string dot connection string. Here we need to pass the name of our connection string, which is con as of now. So our connection is ready. Let's also create some other objects like SQL command, SQL data adapter, and data table. We will use all of them for our later use. So first now let's create a method, public string register, and this will take register class as a parameter, and let's say return. So now cmd, we need to give our insert command. I'm using the straightforward command, but if you want, you can use our stored procedure instead of the direct command. And let me tell you, this is not the right approach which I am using as of now, but this video is just for your reference how to create these things. But I recommend to use stored procedures over direct commands, right? So let me write the query insert into register, and first name, let me copy these from here, or let's say from here itself. Active. We will not use ID because ID is auto incremented column. Values, so single double. So now register dot first name. Same way we need to use, let me copy this one, last name, and then email, gender, last one is password. And for active, we will use one as default, like the active user. Save this. After that, let's open the connection first and equal cmd.execute non-query. So if this command succeeded, then it will return the value greater than 1, not greater than 0. So by comparing this variable I, we can check if the command is succeeded or failed. So let's check this. If I greater than 0, then let's say registration successful, else registration failed. Perfect. So we are ready with this. Let's go to Visual Studio Models folder again, and let's also create another file which is bal. I'll tell you why I'm creating this. Let me copy this entire part here, and let's delete everything, and first get reference of DB connection. Let's say DB, and this will return db.register register. So now let me tell you why I created this file. The thing is, if I go back to the controller, like admin controller, so from, let me also create one more register, and this will take register class. Let's add the reference, this one. So from our controller, we will hit this bal class, and then this bal will communicate to our DB connection. All right, because in the controller, for example, whatever data you are getting from the front end, right? If you want to perform any additional operation on it, so the controller is not a right place to do any kind of changes or amendments in your data which you are getting from the front end. So for that we have a separate class. So here you can do whatever changes you want in your object and then pass it to the DB class. So that's why I created it. If you directly communicate from controller to DB connection, that is also fine, but that is again not a good approach. All right, so that's why I created this bal class. So now first let's add the reference of this bal class. So now in this register, let's say string response equal bal dot register, and we need to pass the register object which we are getting from the front end itself, and not this one. We need to use another namespace which is using utensoft.json. We will return a JSON object. So return JSON. First parameter is our response which we are getting from our DB class. Another one is JSON request behavior dot logget. Perfect. Save this. So we are done our controller level part. Now we need to create the JavaScript file just to make the Ajax connection. So let's go to the script folders and add another folder, page scripts, and inside let's create another file, JavaScript file, name it register. Make sure you will give the right naming convention. So as of now, if you notice, for register I'm only using the name register. By using that we can get to know like these files are related to our register module itself. All right, so here let's create a function, again register. So in this function first, let's say not var, let's say let first name is equal to, if I go to register and let's copy this id dot val, let me copy paste first name camel case, last name email, gender, and password. female. For gender, we cannot get value like this. So initial level it is blank. So we need to check if the radio buttons first are btn male dot prop checked equal true, then gender equal male, else gender equal female. Perfect. And last one is for password. So save this. Now we will create a request so that we can pass the same request to our controller. So first let's create the URL. Let's say URL. The URL would be slash admin register. And now we need to create a data variable which we will pass to our AJAX request. So we need to stringify all the requests. So this JSON dot stringify. So the first property is first name, value is first name, same way last name, last name, email, email, password, password, and before password let's add gender. And not active, we don't need this because we are using default one for active. So this is our data. Now we need to create ajax request. So dollar dot ajax. So the first property should be the type, which is post, because we are posting data to our controller, and data should be data, and URL is URL, and content type is application slash JSON. And data type is JSON. And finally, the success method. Let's say result is coming from the controller. And let's alert the result, whatever we are getting. Same way, in case of any error, function result alert error. Perfect. So we are done with our Ajax request also. Let's save this. Now go to register.cshtml. At the bottom, let's add a reference of this file. Save it. And also this bootstrap.min.js after the reference, not after the reference, before the reference. Oops. Because we need to load the jQuery first and then our file. Save this. Now let's try to run it or on this register. Let's decorate this HTTP post and place a breakpoint here so we can see what is coming from the front end. So now let's run the project and let's see if it is working as expected or we are getting any error. So at the compile time we are getting some errors. So let's check it. We have missed some. Oops, I think. Let's run the project. So now we need to navigate admin/register. So let's try to give some values. Let's say my name, 1234, 1234. And if I click on submit, nothing is happening, means there is some error. So let's open the debugger tools. So in the console, no errors there. So now first check the sources. In the script, we need to check if the control is coming here or not. Let me tell you the reason. We have created the function in the JS file, but we need to call this particular function from our HTML page also. So we have a button submit over here. So we need to declare an on-click event and call this function. All right. So now save this, go back to browser, reload it. And now if I try to give my values abc@gmail.com, gender is male, password is 1234, confirm 1234. If I click on submit, still you can see we have landed to our admin controller. And if I hover over this register object, so we can see we are successfully received the values abcd@gmail.com, Manoj mail. In the last name, we are getting null. We need to check this, but let me go to the files. So now we are on a DB connection. So let's see if the command is working or not. If I check, it's one. Perfect. So you can see we got the message registration successful. Perfect. Now if I go back to SQL Server and if we check the table, we should find a record with name Manoj. Now we need to check why the password or the last name is not coming. So in the JS file, name is correct, and in the register, oops, The name should be identical in the JS file, also in the HTML file. So now if I save this, and let me also create a clear method so that after the registration all the fields get resetted. So for that, let me create function clear, and let's copy this and copy one by one. Last name, email, and password. And this is for confirm password. Copy, paste. And for radio buttons, we'll check. Let me copy this and paste. And we need to pass another parameter which is false. So it will unchecked. So this one is go to the CSS file and copy this. This is the ID of female gender button. Paste, save. So in the success, first call the clear and then alert. Let's save this. And now if I reload this register page, and if I try, let's say, mark, check, email mark@gmail.com, and gender is male, password 123, confirm 123, submit. Let's remove this, click on continue. So registration successful. Okay, let's check. Fine. So our details are coming, but the problem is we didn't reload that page. So let's reload it. Let's try with one another. Let's say Ram, Kumar, Ram at gmail.com. Here's a mail, password 123, confirm 123, submit. Registration successful. Fields are not getting resetted still. The reason is we need to make a small change. I forgot to make it. Perfect. Save. Reload the page. Now if I say Vivek, Bendra, Vivek at gmail.com, or let's say Vivek Sharma, mail 123, save. Okay, so fields are getting resetted and the details are also coming in the database. Perfect. So our registration working fine. So now if I navigate to login, so this form we will use to get login into our backend. So let's stop the application first and let's close other files. Go to admin and let's say for login, this would be HTTP post, and we need to add a model, add new class, login, and the login will use two properties. Let's copy from the register. First one is email and second one is password. Perfect. Save this. Now go back to views folder, and inside admin on login, we have already created the IDs of respective fields. So now we need to create a login file. Let me copy this one and rename it with login, and inside the login we have to take a reference of this file, also the bootstrap.min.js. Perfect. Save this, and now go to login.js. We don't need this one. Delete this. Also this one. We only need email and password. Delete everything apart of email and password. Perfect. So now the URL would be admin/login. Save this. And if I go back to admin.controller, so first go to our DB connection. So here we'll create a function for login. So let's say login, and it will take class login as a parameter. So now we'll use DA equal new data adapter, select star from register, or not star one, where email equal login dot email, and password equal to login dot password. Perfect. What is missing? I need to pass the connection object. And now dt is equal to new data table and da dot fill. So it will fill all the data whatever it is coming getting from this particular command. So if these credentials exist in the table, so it will return 1. So let's check if dt dot rows dot count greater than 0, then return logged in, else return login failed. Save this. Now we need to go to our bal file. Let's create a method public string login. It will take login class as a parameter, which it will receive from the controller, and return db.login, pass the login object. Perfect. Now on the admin controller, in the login, string response is equal to db.login, not db, sorry, bal.login login. Perfect. Let's save this. We need to pass the login object here also. Perfect. Let's save this. Put a breakpoint on this login action method. Save everything and run the project. So now we'll try to log in. Let's say from Mark, copy and try to navigate admin/login. So login page has come. Now let me paste the Mark email ID and password as 123. Let's try to sign in. Same thing as we did for register. So go to login.js. Oops, call this as login. So copy this function and go to login.cshtml, and on the click of submit you need to pass this on click login. Save this, reload the page, and again let's copy the Mark Gmail password 123, sign in. Nothing is happening. Let's see if any error is coming in the console. No error is coming. Oops, something is coming. Login is not defined. Let's check why it is saying login is not defined. Oops, let's save this. I forgot to save this. If I try to reload again and paste Mark email password 123, if I try to sign in, it landed on the controller. So let's check what is coming in the login. Perfect. Mark is coming, but password is coming as null. So let me bypass this first and check why this is coming as null. Maybe the spelling mistake. txt, oops, password, save this. Again, let's reload the page. 123, sign in. Now if I check, yeah, both are coming. Now let's navigate to the DB connection file. Invalid object name register. Oops. Again, I did a mistake in the name of the table. Register. Save. Let's run it again. And try to navigate admin login. So now try go to DB connection, and if I check the rows count, perfect, it is coming as 1. So now we need to make a change as we did for the register. We need to return a JSON object. So let's copy this and paste it over here, and we also need to make a change. If the login gets successful, then we don't need to alert anything. We only need to redirect the user to our dashboard. So for that we will use, let's say, if result is not equal, go to the DB connection, this login failed, then window dot location dot href. So in our case it would be admin itself, because it is in the index, so it will automatically add the index. But if you want, you can also include index here like this. As I said, we don't need it. By default, it will land on the index. That's it. Save this, run the project again. So let's navigate to admin login. So let's try with the marks credentials 1, 2, 3. If I click on sign in, let's remove the breakpoint and click on continue. Perfect. We have landed on the admin dashboard page, which we have written in the login.js. This one. So if login is successful, then user should redirect to the dashboard page. So we have successfully created our sign in, sign up and dashboard page. So this is about today's video. In the next part, we will make some forms to add. Let me also show you the products which we will create the forms just to add, delete, update, to upload images for this. Like, so the product name, product image, price, discount, and the entire description. So we'll create in the next part. So I hope you liked the video. If you did so, hit the like button, share, comment, and if you want to connect with me one to one, then you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Open Programmer. You can also find in my channel description. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.